Hare परिव्राजकाचार्य This divine grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. This comes from Stoka saved the whole world, Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad bhagavatam ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, entitled The Cosmic Manifestation, Chapter 9, Answers by citing the Lord's version, Text 35. This is the third shloka in the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. Yathā mahānti bhūtāni yathā mahānti bhūtāni bhūteṣu ucca-avaceṣu anu bhūteṣūccāvaceṣvanu bhūteṣūccāvaceṣvanu praviṣṭāni apraviṣṭāni praviṣṭānyapraviṣṭāni tathā teṣu na teṣu aham tathā teṣu na teṣvaham yathā mahānti bhūtāni bhūteṣūccāvaceṣvanu praviṣṭānyapraviṣṭāni tathā teṣu na teṣvaham yathā mahānti bhūtāni bhūteṣūccāvaceṣvanu praviṣṭānyapraviṣṭāni tathā teṣu na teṣvaham yathā mahānti bhūtāni bhūteṣūccāvaceṣvanu praviṣṭānyapraviṣṭāni tathā teṣu na teṣvaham yathā mahānti bhūtāni bhūteṣūccāvaceṣv praviṣṭāni apraviṣṭāni tathā teṣu na teṣvaham. Yathā, just as mahānti, the universal, bhūtāni, elements, bhūteṣu, ucca-avaceṣu, in the minute and gigantic, after, praviṣṭāni, entered, apraviṣṭāni, not entered, tathā, so, teṣu, in them, not, teṣu, in them, aham, myself. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created, and at the same time I am outside of everything. Please repeat the translation. O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created, and at the same time I am outside of everything. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Continuing to read the purport, this is the 4th paragraph. Therefore, although He is present in every atom, the Supreme Personality of Godhead may not be visible to the dry speculators. Still, the mystery is unfolded before the eyes of the pure devotees because their eyes are anointed with love of Godhead. And this love of Godhead can be attained only by the practice of transcendental loving service of the Lord and nothing else. The vision of the devotees is not ordinary. It is purified by the process of devotional service. In other words, as the universal elements are both within and without, similarly, the Lord's name, form, quality, pastimes, entourage, etc., as they are described in the revealed scriptures or as performed in the Vaikuntha Lokas, far, far beyond the material cosmic manifestation, are factually being televised in the heart of the devotee. The man with a poor fund of knowledge cannot understand, although by material science one can see things far away by means of television. Factually, the spiritually developed person is able to have the television of the kingdom of God always reflected within his heart. That is the mystery of knowledge of the personality of God. I'll stop reading the purport. There is one more paragraph. We'll discuss this and then proceed. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhūtale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So these 4 verses of the Bhagavatam are revealing the mystery of the personality of Godhead, the Supreme Person. The Supreme Person is a mystery because even though he is a person, he is not like any person of this world. He has personal characteristics. That means he has form, he has qualities. He is an abode, he has senses, he performs activities, he's got paraphernalia. But at the same time, he has his expansions by which he is distinctly different from all of us. What do I mean by expansion? He personally expands into many different forms, which we call Vishnu Tattva. Vishnu Tattva means different category of a person. Vishnu category. Vishnu category means supremely powerful. Not like us. We have some power, but our power is always limited. Even the most powerful person among us, Brahmā, even he has got limited power. So Vishnu category means supreme power, unlimited power. So that is one type of expansion. And he expands in Vishnu forms, unlimited forms. Just like we cannot count how many planets are there in this universe. We cannot count. Nor can we count how many universes are there in this material cosmic manifestation. Now each of the universes, the Vishnu form, expansion, he enters as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Each of the planets within the universe, he enters as Paramatma. Each of the living being's heart, he enters as Paramatma. So that is the Vishnu expansion. Then he has got energies. These energies also expand. Energies also expand. But what is the extent of the expansion, we cannot imagine. Because our imagination or power of conception is limited. He has got many types of energies, and each type of energy expands in its own way. He has got one energy called spiritual energy, and that energy expands to form the spiritual world the spiritual sky, the spiritual planets, the spiritual varieties in those planets. Then he has got one type of energy called marginal energy. This marginal energy also expands. And what is that expansion? Manifest as the living beings in the spiritual world and the living beings in the material world. The living beings in the spiritual world and the material world. They are the expansions of his marginal potency, marginal energy. Then he has got his external energy, material energy. Material energy also expands into the material world. Millions of universes, each universe having millions of planets, each planet having millions of living beings, residences, bodies. All this is material energy expansion. So this expansion is what is difficult to understand. So to help us understand this expansion, here is one analogy given by the Lord to Brahmā. What is the analogy? He says that the universal elements enter into the cosmos. We know the universal elements: earth, water, fire, air and sky. So before this cosmic creation, from the material energy, these 5 great elements were generated: earth, water, fire, air and sky. Then the different bodies were created for so many living entities, varieties of bodies. Human bodies, subhuman and superhuman. Now inside the body, if you see what is there inside the body, these 5 elements. But because the elements are there within the body, it doesn't mean the elements are not there outside the body. The elements are there outside as well as inside. Now, what is interesting is that these bodies have got a certain duration of existence as the body. What happens after the body is destroyed? We have experienced that a person dies, then all the elements, they go back to the reservoir. If there is some space inside, sky inside my body, what happens after this body is finished? Actually, the sky remains. Nothing happens to the sky. Water. What happens to the water inside my body? It remains. So water is always there, whether within my body or outside my body, whether within your body or outside your body, water is always there. Sky is always there. Only we make a distinction. Oh, there is water inside, there is water outside. As if the water is different. The water is the same. There is no difference in the water. The element water is there in your body, is also there outside your body. So that is explained as the universal elements enter into the cosmos and same time do not enter. Do not enter means they remain as they are. To give another example, if a potter takes some clay and he makes a pot. Now inside the pot there is sky. Outside this pot there is sky. Now is it that he has taken some sky and put it into the pot? The potter is making the pot. What is he doing? He is making the pot. He is not taking some sky and putting it inside. The sky exists. Right? When the pot is broken, what happened to the sky or the space inside the pot? It remains. So, the point is, the 5 elements enter and do not enter into every body that is created. So, just like the elements enter and do not enter, similarly, the Lord is telling Brahma, I myself also exist within everything created. He exists within everything created as Paramatma, Super Soul. He enters into the material energy as the first Vishnu. He enters into the universe as the second Vishnu form. He enters into every living entity's heart as the third Vishnu form. He enters into everything, otherwise nothing will develop. If he does not enter, nothing will happen. So he enters. At the same time, I am outside of everything. He is outside also. He does not enter. So how to understand this? Now same example. Now Paramatma is in my heart. Now when this body is finished, what happens to Paramatma within my heart? Paramatma remains. Paramatma is always existing. So Paramatma has entered into my body and Paramatma has also not entered my body. So this understanding of expansion, this we have to carefully understand. When we say Krishna, God, Supreme Person, expands, that expansion is He Himself. He Himself. He is present. And the expansion is such that He is simultaneously present and not present. That is the kind of expansion. It is not like the expansion we may think. In this material world, we may think of something expanding, but the Supreme Lord expanding is not like that. He expands means He enters and He does not enter. So, the person who is the original person beyond the expansion is whom we should try to find out. Then the mystery will be clear. Otherwise we will never understand this mystery. How Paramatma has entered into everything and not entered into everything. We cannot understand this mystery until we discover the person Paramatma who is behind everything. So what is the way to find out this Paramatma who has entered into everything and not entered into everything? That is explained by Prabhupada in this purport, that even though as Paramatma He is entered into everybody's heart, He is not visible to everybody. He is only visible to the eyes of the pure devotees. Why is He visible only to the eyes of the pure devotees? Because the pure devotees' eyes are smeared with ointment of love of God. Premanjanam. Anjanam means ointment. Prema means love of God. So premanjana, they have smeared their eyes with premanjana. Now where is this premanjana available? I also want to smear my eyes and then I want to see Paramatma. Now that premanjana is not available anywhere. You have to develop that premanjana by first of all purifying your eyes. By purifying your eyes, you can develop this premanjana. So the process of purification is the process of devotional service, bhakti yoga. Through bhakti yoga, you purify your eyes, and as the process of purification progresses, you can develop that premanjana from within you. From within you it develops. So then, when the eyes are smeared with the premanjana, the ointment of love of God, then what happens? Prabhupada describes a phenomenon. It is just like what is happening some distant place. You see the same thing on a television screen because it is broadcast through some method. So that broadcasting means in millions of television sets, the same program can be seen, which is happening maybe millions of miles away. Same program. Everybody can see, whoever has got a television set and who is able to connect through the proper method, able to connect to the station which is broadcasting, the arrangement, broadcasting arrangement. So similarly, a pure devotee, when he smears his eyes with the ointment of love of Godhead, he is able to see Paramatma within the heart. But his seeing is different than the seeing of a yogi who practices Hatha Yoga in order to see Paramatma within the heart. That seeing is different. That seeing is like if somebody were to open this television and see the whole mechanical or electronic or electrical arrangement. Oh, there is a tube. There is some light ray. That light ray is falling. And then it is forming a pattern. You can analyze that very nicely. Oh, I understand how the television is working, how this images are forming, how the... But the basis for this image, okay, the working, somebody can explain the working. But really, that whole arrangement is meant for a higher purpose. To receive the signal which is coming from another source, not the source within this itself. So to see Paramatma, not like this, but locate the source with which there is a connection. That source who can discover? That is the pure devotee, not the yogi, not the Hatha yogi. The pure devotee, what does he do? Because of his smearing his eyes with the ointment of love of God, he is able to see the Paramatma within the heart and is able to also see the connection between this Paramatma form in the heart and the Supreme Lord Govinda in the spiritual world. That Govinda is reflected as Paramatma in my heart. Just like that same program which is going on in the television station being broadcast is reflected in the television set. Yes, the arrangement is there, but the arrangement is not adequate by itself for you to see the program that is going on there. If you want to really see the program that is going on there, you require the arrangement, but you require most important, the connection. If you don't have connection, you cannot see that program. So similarly, to understand the Supreme Lord who is behind this entire cosmic manifestation, behind the material energy, behind the spiritual energy, behind the Paramatma feature, behind the Brahman feature, behind the expansions, all categories of expansions. Who is that? What is that truth? That only can be seen, understood, can be realized by smearing the eyes with ointment of love of God. And this smearing is possible only for those who follow the process of Bhakti Yoga. So this is the mystery. And this mystery can never be understood or revealed to one who does not follow the Bhakti process. Somebody says, no, I will not follow Bhakti process. I will follow the Jnana process. I will follow the Hatha Yoga process. I will speculate. I will do research. You cannot understand this mystery. Because you see the history. In the history of this world, even the known history, people have been trying to understand what is the way this entire world is working. Everything is working in this world. The truth behind this creation. And there are so many theories. There are theories which are based on people's own individual research, analysis, study. Then there are theories based on people's study of the Vedas. Because there are two sources clearly of knowledge. One is the Vedas and the other one is the non-Vedic knowledge. People's own analysis, research, understanding, speculation. So both of these methods of trying to understand what is going on without bhakti, they cannot understand what's happening. There's so many theories, even Vedic theories. We say Shat Darshana. What is the Shat Darshana? They study the Vedas and try to understand what is the truth. So somebody says, atom is the truth. From the Vedas, they discover. Parmanuvada. Some people discover karma theory and say karma is the truth. Everything is happening, going on because of this karma. So, like this, different theories, Vedic theories are there. Different non-Vedic theories are there. But you ask any of them, after they study the whole theory, can you explain the mystery behind this creation? They cannot. They may at best give you a partial explanation of what's going on. They have a lot of problems in giving a complete, comprehensive explanation. Whereas you come to the Vedanta philosophy, Vedanta philosophy is based on the Vedas. But it is given by the Lord. Given by the Supreme Lord, the understanding. This Vedanta philosophy perfectly explains. But then again, to understand the explanation given by the Vedanta philosophy, you require bhakti. There again, without bhakti, what happens to the Vedanta philosophical understanding? They have so many theories, even about the Vedanta philosophy itself. So many different theories. Especially the impersonalist theory. That ultimately the truth is impersonal Brahman. Why? Because they are not able to go beyond impersonal Brahman. What is there behind impersonal Brahman? They are not able to understand. They are not able to penetrate, see.
understand, figure out. So who can figure out what is behind impersonal Brahman? Only the devotees, only those who follow Bhakti Yoga, only those who are able to smear their eyes with the ointment of love of God. You see, the devotees, it's explained here, that they're able to see the same Supreme Lord who is in his personal abode, Govinda. He is present in the heart of everybody. He incarnates as Rama, Krishna, Brahmā, Narasimha. I agree, so many incarnations. He only is there at the beginning of the creation as Vishnu. He remains through the creation as maintainer, Vishnu. He remains after everything is destroyed as another Vishnu. He only is present in the spiritual world as Narayana. He only is present in the spiritual world as Krishna. So that person, original person, who can see that same person everywhere? It is just like, to give a crude example, if there is a person who's got a home, who works in an office or a business unit, and he also occasionally goes to a tennis court to play tennis. Understand this example. Now the people who may be playing tennis and only playing tennis and only limited to the tennis court, sometimes it happens, of course, not usually, but unusually it may happen that a person may be known in a tennis court among his friends who come to play tennis. They have seen him in a particular dress, they have seen him in a particular mood, they relate with him in a particular way, and that's what they know about him. Now some other set of people relate with this gentleman in his business unit. He is the owner, let us say his owner, he is the managing director. Now they relate with him in a particular dress, formal dress always, and the work he does and the way he behaves, the way he conducts himself there. It's a different setting, it's a different mood, it's a different relationship. Correct? The same person at home, the way his intimate family members relate with him, it's totally different. So even if, let us say, for argument's sake, the person in the tennis court who relates with this gentleman knows he's got a home, he's got a business, can he understand what exactly is the kind of relationship in the business or at home? No, he cannot understand. It's beyond him. Just by his limited knowledge about the interaction of the person in the tennis court, he cannot get an idea what is the kind of relationship he has in his office, especially when it comes to intimate relationships, like the confidential relationship he has with his, let's say, his production manager. The kind of confidential relationship he has, who can understand? It's very difficult to understand. Because, you see, the relationship is so nice that he just tells the production manager, okay, increase the production by 25%. The production manager will see to it that it happens. So many things that has to be done. But this person just gives his order and it happens. Now who can understand this? It's not easy to understand for everyone. Even though they may know. Right? He's the owner of a business and he controls. How he controls? How he manages? It's very difficult to understand. Or at home, he's got a loving family with whom he actually has an intimate relationship of love, where he shares himself beyond what anybody can imagine. Right? This person, when he goes home, maybe he has a son who will climb on his shoulders and play with him. You know, there is this interesting story told about one Prime Minister Gladstone in the 1940s. He was the Prime Minister of England. So this Prime Minister, he used to meet people only in his office. That's generally the way he meets. But once he told one gentleman that you come to my house. Some reason he was not able to meet in his office. He said, come to my house on one particular afternoon. So this gentleman went to his house. He was made to wait outside in a particular area, waiting area for the Prime Minister. So he was waiting and he was told, in 10 minutes the Prime Minister will be with you. Okay, just wait 10 minutes. So he waited 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, he's not come. So he became a little curious. Why is the Prime Minister delaying? Because generally Prime Minister, he keeps time. He does not delay. So nobody was there around to inquire. So he just thought, let me just peep in. So he opened that door leading to the inside chamber, inside area of his house. And he just peeped in. And he was suddenly shocked to see what he saw. What did he see? The Prime Minister is on his knees, he's scrolling, and one small boy is on his shoulder, on his back, and riding like a horse, and telling, go ahead, something he's telling. He was suddenly shocked. Prime Minister? So this is the relationship he has with his son or grandson. He is Prime Minister, he is a powerful person. Nobody can play with him like that. But he chooses to play with somebody he loves. That's his prerogative. Does it mean that because his grandson is climbing on his back, his power is in any way reduced as Prime Minister? Is his power reduced? No, not even the least. Nothing happens to his power as a Prime Minister. So similarly, Krishna, he is the Lord. He is the Supreme Controller. But when he, with his intimate devotees, he performs some pastimes, some lila, he engages. One cowherd boy will climb on his back and tell, carry me now, some distance. So he will carry. So does his power in any way get reduced? This people cannot understand, except when they are themselves situated in bhakti. Only the bhakti yogis can understand this. How the Supreme Person remains the Supreme in spite of his performing these pastimes with his intimate devotees out of love. Even when he expands his Paramatma, his power is not diminished. His personality is in no way affected because he can expand. He can expand and still remain the Supreme Person without any alteration, without any change. So who can understand this? Only those who have bhakti, they can understand. Because through bhakti what happens? How is it that they are able to understand? Others cannot understand. Because through bhakti, you are able to see the original person in his original feature as Krishna. And also see the connection Krishna has with everything. It's not just seeing him, it's seeing him with the connections. Just like this person in a tennis court cannot understand what's the kind of relationship the gentleman has at home or in the office or in the business. But if he understands the original person by developing a relationship with him, Just like somebody becomes close on the tennis court, then he may reveal, oh, today I've got a business meeting. Yesterday I was with my son, I had gone here. You know, he may reveal something about his home affairs. He may reveal something about his business. And he may reveal something very confidential also. If the tennis court, some friend becomes very, very close to him, he can open up. He can reveal. Oh, then he understands something much, much more than what he had not known before. Is it not? We experience this in the material world. We have some understanding of this, correct? Confidential friend, somebody reveals. Some inner secrets may come out, which otherwise you can never understand. So similarly, Krishna reveals the confidential knowledge about his inner affairs with his devotees in the spiritual world, about his affairs in the Vaikuntha Loka, about his affairs in this material world. The inner secrets he reveals only to his confidential devotees. Now who can become his confidential devotees? Krishna is inviting everybody, come. Become my confidential devotee. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji aham namaskuru is inviting in the Bhagavad Gita. Become my devotee. What kind of devotee? Manmana, one who constantly thinks of me. That kind of devotee you become. Not official devotee. Every day morning 1 hour I do puja. I am Krishna's devotee. Not this kind of official devotee. This kind of official devotee, something may be understood. Some little thing. But not the confidential knowledge. If you want confidential knowledge, then manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. So you have to become that kind of confidential devotee. Confidential devotee means you have to practice the bhakti yoga. Then only confidential. And also you have to follow bhakti yoga. Also you have to follow the instructions given by another confidential devotee. Given by another, because a confidential devotee only can introduce you to that Krishna who is a confidential person, because he has contact, he has connection, he has a relationship. Others cannot introduce you to that confidential person, Krishna. Can introduce you to some other manifestation of Krishna as the Lord who is present in this world as Vishnu, or the Lord who is present in this world as the controller, Jagadishvara. But to introduce you to the confidential Krishna in Goloka Vrindavana, you require a confidential devotee who has a connection. And such a confidential person, a devotee, we have good fortune of coming in contact with Prabhupada. Prabhupada is that confidential devotee, in whose heart everything that is going on everywhere is televised. In his heart there is a television. That's how he is writing. That's how he is speaking. The truths, the mysteries are all revealed to Prabhupada within his heart, because he has got his eyes smeared with the love of Krishna. So Prabhupada can teach us, can guide us, can instruct us how we can develop that love of God. What is the specific thing to be done? What are the particular things to be done to develop this love of God? Prabhupada can teach us. So we have to follow Prabhupada. Later on it will be explained, such pure devotees are very, very rare. Very rare in this world. They are rare even among the higher demigods. They are rare among great yogis. They are rare among great jnanis. They are rare among great tapasvis. They are rare among great paramahamsas. Even among them they are rare. So very, very rare. Extremely rare. Because you survey so many yogis, tapasvis, jnanis, they have explained God. But who has been able to explain God in terms of his most confidential aspect as Krishna in Vrindavan, who can explain? And who can teach us, not only explain, but teach us how we can become such confidential devotees. Such devotees are very, very rare in this entire universe, entire creation. So we are fortunate to have such a devotee, Prabhupada. And we can experience, it's not difficult to experience the difference between following Prabhupada and trying to understand some of these secrets that is there in the Bhagavatam or that is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, so many people read and so many people have done so much of research, so much of study. So many people have written commentaries. But who can explain Bhagavad Gita the way Prabhupada explains? You see, it is making people devotees. Which other Bhagavad Gita has made so many devotees? You see, Krishna says, become my devotee. So if somebody studies the Bhagavad Gita and becomes devotee, then Krishna's purpose of speaking Bhagavad Gita is served. Now, so many people have read Bhagavad Gita, so many people have become scholars, have studied, have become scholars, are able to give discourses. But have they become devotees? And what kind of devotees? Even devotees, as I said, confidential devotees. That is the only Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is producing. And so, Prabhupada is very, very rare. And that will be explained in the next part of the program. Okay, stop it. Srimad bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada.